A few years ago, I was running a SaaS business and it was in trouble. Revenue was dropping month over month. We had customers, we had a product, but something was clearly not working and we couldn't put our finger on that. And here is the honest truth. The reason we almost went under was not the product. It was not the market. It was not bad timing. It was that I had no idea what my data was actually telling me. I was running a SaaS business, almost completely blind. Now, what happened next changed my entire career. In this video, I'm gonna walk you through my exact path from struggling SaaS founder to working data analyst. Every tool I learned, every project I built, and every job I landed in that order. Now, if you've been wondering whether you can actually make this career switch, this video is for you. Hey, I'm Arlen, and let's get into it. So here's the context. I had a SaaS company. We had built something people were using, and for a while it was working. Then sales started declining, not a cliff, but it was just a slow slide down. Month after month, the numbers got a little worse, and we kept making decisions based on just gut feeling and anecdotal feedback from a handful of customers. We were running competitive analysis by just literally looking at competitor websites and guessing. We were making feature decisions based on whoever complained the loudest in support tickets. This was no joke. No real data, no structure, no way to know what was actually driving churn or where we were losing customers in the funnel. We almost didn't make it through that period. And then I finally stopped and looked at the real picture. The real numbers, not the spreadsheet I had been checking once a month. It was clear. The problem was not the product. The problem was that we really had no idea what was happening inside our own business because we had never built the systems to see it clearly. That was the moment everything changed. I stumbled onto Tableau almost by accident. I was looking for just a better way to visualize what was happening with our sales pipeline, and someone in a forum mentioned it. I downloaded the free trial and spent a weekend just playing with it, dragging fields, building charts, looking at our data in a way that I had never done before. And something clicked for me immediately. I could see things I had not been able to see before, patterns, trends, the places where customers were dropping off. I went all in. I learned Tableau, then I learned SQL, so I could actually query the data instead of just importing spreadsheets. Then I picked up Power BI because I realized more companies in the corporate world were using it. And if I ever wanted to take this beyond my own business, I needed to know the tool that was actually in the market. I didn't have structured program guiding me. I was figuring it out on my own, which meant a lot of wrong turns and wasted time. But looking back, having a clear curriculum and someone showing you the right sequence would have cut that learning curve significantly. But the core of it was learning by doing. Real projects, real data, and real outputs. That was the key. The way I actually built the skills was through real projects, unfake data. Kaggle was where I spent a lot of my time. If you've not been on Kaggle, it's a completely free platform with hundreds and thousands of real world data sets that you can download and just work with on your own. There's sales data, healthcare data, e-commerce data, financial data, and all of it is completely free. All of it structured like actual business data. So I built projects. I connected those data sets to Power BI and Tableau, and I built dashboards. I wrote SQL queries to clean and transform the data. I did competitive analysis projects where I took publicly available data on companies in a space and tried to identify patterns in performance, pricing, market share, feature trends, you name it, I did it. I did feature analysis projects where I looked at product usage patterns and tried to answer the question, which features actually drive retention? These were not fake exercises. I was actually applying real analytical thinking to real data and producing outputs I could actually show someone. That was the whole point. By the time I started applying for jobs, I had a portfolio of work that demonstrated I could do the thing, not just what I had watched videos about doing the thing. Here's the part of the story that I think matters most for people who are still running a business or working inside one. The competitive and feature analysis I was doing with these new skills, I applied directly back to our SaaS product. I stopped guessing about what was happening with competitors and I started actually analyzing it. I stopped making feature decisions based on whoever was loudest and started looking at what the data said. And we turned it around, but not overnight. But the decisions we started making about where to focus, what to cut, what to build next were grounded in actual evidence for the first time. The business stabilized. We stopped the decline. The point is not that data is magic. The point is that making decisions without it is a significant disadvantage. And once you have the skill to do it properly, you see that disadvantage everywhere and you can actually fix it. So after going through that experience, I made a decision. Data analytics was not just going to be something I used in my business. It was going to be my career. I had found something I was generally good at and genuinely interested in, and I wanted to go deeper. So I made the pivot. I shifted my focus entirely to pursuing data analytics professionally. I built out my portfolio. I got comfortable with Power BI and SQL at the level where I could walk into a conversation and talk about them with confidence. And I started putting myself in front of opportunities. My first professional data analytics role was a contractor position at a large e-commerce art store. Real business, real data, and real deadlines. I was building reports, analyzing sales performance, looking at customer behavior, and turning that into dashboards and summaries that business could actually act on. That role taught me something you don't learn from any course or any Kaggle project: how business stakeholders actually want to consume data, what questions they really ask. So how to translate between what the data says and what the decision maker needs to hear. That's a skill. That's the translation layer, where it's something that separates an analyst who gets promoted from analysts who just get technically better. From there, I moved into my current role working as a data analyst for a government contractor. The scale is different, the domain is different, the rigor is different, but the core of the work is the same. Take complex data, understand what it is telling you, and put it in front of people who need to make decisions with it. That's the job. That is what data analysts actually do. And it started with a failing SaaS business, a weekend with Tableau, and a commitment to learning by doing on free data sets from the internet. Now, before I tell you what this means for you, I want to address something directly, because if you're considering this path in 2026, there are two things you probably are worried about, and I'm not going to pretend that they're not real. The first is the job market. Entry-level data and tech jobs are genuinely harder to get right now than they were a few years ago. Hiring has slowed, competition is higher. If you've been applying and not hearing back, you're not imagining things. The market is tighter. I'm not gonna lie to you and say it's easy. The second is AI. The question I get more than any other right now is some variation of, is it even worth learning this? Won't AI just do it all in the future? And here's my honest answer. AI is already doing parts of the data analyst job. It is writing SQL queries faster than most humans can. It's generating charts, summarizing data sets, building dashboards. That is real. Now, I use AI tools in my own work right now, but here is what AI cannot do. And I want you to hear this clearly. AI cannot understand your business or the business that you're working for. It cannot sit in a room with the director who's frustrated and trying to figure out what question that they're actually asking underneath the question that they said out loud. It can't decide which numbers matter and which ones are noise. It can't take accountability for recommendation. AI produces outputs. Analysts make judgment calls. Those are not the same thing. What is happening right now is the definition of what a data analyst does, and that is shifting. The repetitive parts, writing boilerplate SQL, building standard reports, those are getting faster because of AI. The judgment parts, framing the right question, interpreting results in the context of business, communicating findings to non-technical stakeholders, those are all becoming more valuable, not less. The analysts who struggle are the ones who only knew how to do the repetitive parts. The analysts who will actually thrive are the ones who can use AI as a tool while bringing human judgment to the work. On the job market, yes, it is harder, but skills that are demonstrated through a real portfolio still cut through. Companies still need people who understand their data. The bar is just higher now, which means the quality of your portfolio matters more than it did. That is actually good news if you're willing to do the work. Here's why I'm telling you all of this. You don't need a computer science degree. You don't need to have worked in tech. You don't even need to have started where most think you need to start. What you need is the willingness to learn the tools, build the real projects that show judgment, not just technical execution, and keep going when it feels like it's taking longer than it should. The path is not linear. Mine certainly wasn't. But every step in the sequence made sense in hindsight. Business experience led to the analytics problem led to the tools led to the projects led to the portfolio, and the portfolio led to the jobs. In 2026, the path looks the same. It just requires more intentionality about the quality of the work you produce and the depth of understanding you bring to it. That is actually a better filter. The people who get through it are the people who are genuinely building the skills, not just collecting certificates. If you're watching this channel, you're already on the path. The question is just how far you want to take it. That is my exact path. From running a SaaS business that almost went under to discovering Tableau, learning SQL and Power BI, building projects on Kaggle, turning a business around with real analysis, and landing 2 professional data analytics roles. I'm sharing all of this not because my path is the only path, but because when I was figuring this out, I wanted to see a real example, not a polished success story, a real one. Now, if this video has helped you, or if you're on a similar journey, please do subscribe, because we're building the data crew from ground up, from scratch. And if you're here, you're already a part of it. So people who are really serious about using data to do better work and build better careers are all here to learn. Now, every subscriber helps YouTube show this channel to more people who need it. It's completely free. It just takes a second. And remember, I will never waste your time. Now, if you want to start exactly where I started, check out the Power BI for Beginners video, Build Your First Dashboard. It's the video next. The link is on the screen. Remember, this is the tool that is the skill, and it is available to you right now. Link is on the screen, and I'll see you there.